So going through this tattoo kit here, and here is the power source that it came with. And make sure that there's not a button back here to switch your voltage, because some of these are made for other countries besides the United States, and you have to make sure you're using the correct voltage and the correct plug and everything, but everything's set up correctly for where I'm at. So I'm just going to turn it on, and then I'm going to get a foot pedal and plug it in. This is what it looks like. If you're going to get a cheap foot pedal, get one of these that clicks and stays on. Don't get the foot pedals that are the two pieces of flimsy metal. From my experience, these will last you a lot longer. Even though they're cheap, I'm still using the original one I had of these. And if you get the metal ones, you'll use them once or twice and they won't even work. So if you're getting a cheap pedal, get one of these clicker ones that stays on when you press on it. And as you can see, I'll show you later, you can turn these into other things. I've turned one of these into the tap light foot pedal that I use, and I've had that thing forever. Still use it. So foot pedal goes on the floor, plugs into the power supply, and then we're going to get our clip cord. And this is a really cheap clip cord, and you can actually see through it. And look to see how thin the wire is. This is the problem with the cheap equipment. With this really thin wire, you actually have to turn up the voltage to get it to work. With a thicker wire, you can turn your voltage down. So, really flimsy clip cord, really cheap. I'm probably going to toss this whole thing. Not even going to reuse it. But try to get the other clip cords where at least this part is made decently. And you can take the wire out and replace the wire and they'll work just fine. But we'll see what we can do with this. So we're going to plug in this clip cord. And then get our tattoo machines. Okay, so right off the bat here, let me show you something. I'm going to take this down to 0, and I'm going to attach my clip cord. And then I'm going to step on the pedal so my machine comes on. Now, I'm going to slowly turn this knob until my tattoo machine turns on. So right off the bat, this is telling me that this machine is running at 0 volts. This must be the best machine ever. You have to be careful when you're buying machines, and be careful of what people are telling you when they're telling you that their machines are so great because they run on so little voltage. There's a lot of ways tattoo artists and people making machines can scam you and get you to buy a really expensive machine that really isn't that good. And if you're a tattoo artist and you're scamming other tattoo artists, then shame on you. You are the worst kind of person. So, but don't get scammed. I'm going to show you something here. Let me turn this up so at least show you some kind of voltage on here. Okay, 2 volts. Now, is that machine really running at 2 volts? Let's get our little lie detector out here, our little voltmeter, and see what this is actually running at. It says 1.9, but let's see what our voltmeter says. If you take the clip cord and just hold the ends of your meter here on the clip cord, it will give you a reading. And hold your little probes here on the end of your clip cord, and you will see, okay, the power supply is saying 1.9, our voltmeter is saying 4, so that's 2 volts off. So where you have to be careful is it's saying 2 volts, but it's actually giving you 4. So if someone's trying to sell you a machine over the internet and they're showing you 2 volts on their power supply, it could actually be higher than that. It could actually be 4 volts or even more. But their power supply reading is not correct. So let me plug this into my other power supply. This power supply is a little more trustworthy. It's still a little off, but it's actually, I think it might be lower instead of higher. So let's hook this up. 2.6, and the voltmeter actually says 2.3. So for this one, it's a little lower. You know, get a voltmeter out, do a little experiment, see how close your power supply reading is off. And you will find out which machines are really running at compared to what you think they're running at. So this is actually a little bit lower, 2.6. So let's see on this power supply how much voltage it would take to get this thing going. So we're about 4 volts, which makes sense because this was saying 2, but it was actually running at 4. So this machine will kick off at 4 volts. But here's the thing, that doesn't mean it's going to run or tattoo at 4 volts. That just means the machine started, and it's not loaded either. Once you put a needle on here, it takes a lot more voltage to run. But let me show you something important here. It'll turn on at 4 volts. Let me even kickstart it here. There we go. See that once I put my thumb underneath the armature bar nipple, it just stopped. I can even kick this off and tell you that it's running at 4 volts. Now if I showed you this on a video and told you that this machine ran at 4 volts, you would believe me. But if I did this, you would know that it will not tattoo at 4 volts. As soon as you put a little pressure on there, it's going to stop. Now to see what your actual volts are, to see when this will actually tattoo somebody, you need to put your thumb under here, and this armature bar nipple needs to still be hitting your thumb. It needs to not stop. It needs to have enough force to keep on going. That's when you know it will truly tattoo someone. So I'm going to turn this on and slowly turn up my power supply. At 5 volts, barely hitting. I can stop it real easy. It'll run, but I can stop it real easy. So So that's still not going to tattoo anybody at 5 volts. 7 volts, it's not stopping. It's hitting a little harder, but if I put enough pressure on here, it'll stop. See how it's kind of fighting still? Still trying to keep going. It's getting closer. So 8 volts. Still on my thumb, I'm putting pressure on it, but it's still running. It's still fighting. It's still hitting. This lets you know that when your needles are hitting the skin, they will actually go into the skin instead of just stopping and not going deep enough, and then your tattoo will fall out. So this machine will not run correctly unless it is at 8 volts. So we want to tune this machine so it will not take as much voltage to run. When it's tuned correctly, you won't need this much. Now, to start off, we will not actually mess with the machine. To start off, I'm going to actually change out this clip cord for a better clip cord with a thicker wire. And that will immediately drop down the voltage you need. It's not actually helping the tattoo machine, but it's actually helping by the wire going to your tattoo machine is cutting it off, and it's going to open that up, and then your tattoo machine will get the correct voltage and will run. So first way to make your tattoo machine run better is actually to fix your clip cord, because you have, it's not just your tattoo machine, you have several things here going to your tattoo machine, leading to your tattoo machine. You have a clip cord that you need to have set up correctly, and as you see, you have a power source that needs to have the correct reading, or you don't really need a reading, but if you're tuning tattoo machines, it helps out a lot. And I use these readings a lot to know how fast the machines are running, how I need to adjust them. You don't need them necessarily. You can run with a power supply that has no readings, and you just would go by the sound of the machine. If you had a power supply here with no readings, I'm going to go old school here and just listen to the way my machine is running, and once you hear it running correctly and it is hitting correctly, I know to stop. But I'm not going to use any numbers here. Just going to turn it up. And you don't want it to sound like a chainsaw, you just want it to sound like it's running, and running smoothly. It's got a pretty decent hit. I could probably tattoo with a smaller needle group,